Hey, hey! I think we're on live. It all worked. We've got it all set up. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my gosh, it is so good to be back. Yes, we were off the grid for a couple of weeks, and everybody kind of needs that downtime, but it's not like we had ever forgotten you. We hope you had wonderful time with your family or your friends or whoever you spent the holidays with. I know we all had a wonderful season, and but truly, all of us miss this so much, and we're so glad to be back, and we couldn't be happier that you've joined us tonight. And in return, we promise to give you the hour of pure value to assist you in reaching your goals, your dreams, your freedom. Oh my gosh, it is so good to be back. Okay, so we're off the grid for a couple of weeks. Just a second here. I think I've got another computer going here. So time, but it's not. I do that. See, you don't have to be perfect to be on these Hangouts, gang. Yay, way to start 2015 off. Anyways, I'm back. So, yeah, we want to, we want to present value to you so that you can make 2015 your year. So if you're new here, please be sure to introduce yourself in the chat roll. We would all love to meet you and say hi to you. We love doing this Hangout for you guys. The dreamers, the doers, the entrepreneurs, you, the person longing to make every day Freedom Day. So we're great to have you here with us tonight. And so where do we start? Well, I've already said Happy New Year to you. So is everybody ready to make this year their year? Let's get going then, if that's what we want to do. And the title of tonight is Life is a Play and You Are the Lead Actor. Wow, that is so true, because it's all about your life. And if you're going into this year, it's a new year, and we want you to change your old habits. So my intention tonight on this Hangout is to help you do this around money. Yes, I said that word, money. Usually we talk about strictly motivation and inspiration and all that, but I am going to get raw and real tonight, and I'm going to talk about money. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you've heard my story that when I got into Empower Network, which I love, it was all about the money. It was just money, money, money. And then I go on and I tell you how, after being in for a while, my thought process changed to where the money did not come first. But I want to take you back, because if you're a newbie or you've been in this a while, you've got a little bit of not motivation, but momentum going, I think you really need to hear what I've got to say to you tonight. So let's go back in time for me and where my head was and how far I've come, so that I can be able to explain this to you, how I feel about this. Wherever you are with it, with money, whether you've never made any, don't know how to go about it, or you've made some money and you aren't right now, or you're making good money and you want to make some more, the principles that I'm going to talk about can help you with what I just mentioned, okay, making more money. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is the misconception and the conditioning that we've all had around money. We've all grown up with different parents, lived in different places, had different circles, and not everybody was raised with the same things in life, but an overall shame around money. And this is such an important thing to realize that you've got, and you have to get specific about it, and you have to work with it if you want to make any kind of serious money. And if you're on this Hangout, the odds are that you're on here because you want help in generating some money with whatever you're doing. I would venture to say you that are on the Hangout tonight want to make some money at your business that you're in. And you also want to improve your own personal self too. But the money's there. So if you walked around saying, I love money, I'm going to go out and I'm going to make so much money. That's all I care about right now is money, 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 money. People are going to think you are a wackadoodle and that you are gross. And you may even think that you're kind of gross because that's what we've been trained to believe. And we move into that opinion so very effortlessly. Our little juggy-wuggy eyebrows get raised so quickly over this one, right? Meanwhile, if you were going to lose weight, and that is all you talked about, like going on and on about how you were going to go shopping for new clothes and how psyched you were about it and keeping on track of your calories, and you get obsessed with weight loss. People might get a little bored with it, but they are not going to judge you the way they would if you were going around saying you were going to make lots of money. So if you're going to do this money-making thing, especially if you've never made any money before, you have to get obsessed with it. We've been raised with this belief that it's just somehow going to happen. We don't talk about it because it's so dirty, so we are left here thinking we are just supposed to know how to make it, and it doesn't happen. And it's because we're not really allowed to talk about it the way we talk about other things that we would like to change in our lives. So that is such an important thing that we all have to face, that it's been made dirty and that it has a really strong underlying judgment attached to it. So I want you to start focusing on making money in a way that you've never made it before. The other thing that happens is we decide we are going to make money, and then we do the same things we've always done and expect ourselves to make money even though we are not making it. So if what you're doing isn't really making you money, you've got to pick it up, people, and you've got to get specific about what it is that you want to do and focus on what you need to do to switch it up to make money. And the first thing is the mindset, right here. With right now, that's not working for you. So there's an exercise, and I want you to do this at the end of the hangout, not right now, but please, I want you to write down your beliefs about money. And folks, I am as serious as a heart attack when I tell you to do this exercise. It'll only take you about 10 minutes. You just sit down and you write about how you feel about money, if it makes you feel dirty, if you love it, and if you want more of it, but you feel confused about it, you don't trust it, whatever you have going on, put it on the page so that you can see where your push-pull is coming from, okay? Once you get the details down, start questioning them and figure out where they came from and understand why they're not true. And start creating new mantras that are true, that will get you to the right place and the things that you so desire and so deserve. And you can make it happen, seriously, almost overnight if you really get down to this stuff. For example, about money, the feeling about it. I was raised in a house where Mom said, you always have to save for a rainy day. Oh, you probably all heard that. You know, save for a rainy day. Don't go buy what you want because you need to save for that for a rainy day. And trust me, I'm not against having, some savings. But I watched my parents do this for years and years and years. And you know what? Before that rainy day could come where they could go and they could travel and everything else, my dad got sick. And they couldn't do it. So they saved, but they never enjoyed it. And all I'm saying is, yes, get obsessed with making it, but don't be afraid to spend it either. Don't be afraid to spend it on yourself. You know, there's a phrase that took me forever to really understand. Money is currency and currency is energy. Money is currency and currency is energy. And all money is an energetic exchange between people, and that's why we get to decide what the value of things are. Like we can go out and we can buy a chair for $12, and if we turn around and want to sell it for $500, it's just energy. So that we place on that chair. It has no meaning. Money has no meaning other than the meaning we put on it. So if you put these meanings on it that make it bad and dirty and something to be judged, think about that energy you are putting out there. It literally blocks the flow of energy. Boy, this is so important to understand because it is so powerful. And when you open yourself up to it and breathe it in, and you put it in a place of love and receiving and giving and being in the flow of give and take, it's all a big, beautiful exchange, and you literally open yourself up to the means to make it. Spend some time on this and really, really visualize it in a deep, deep way that money is currency and currency is just energy. Trust me, it will help you shift your mindset around and away from what you've got going on right now. This is a biggie, and it is so ingrained in us, and it is going to take some time to work around it. It truly is. So if you've got the mindset stuff going on there, then there is the question of what you actually do to make money. What are you doing to make money? And how focused are you on the actions it takes to make money every single day? So let's say you've decided that 2015 is your year to freaking rake it in. This is my money year. If this is your money year and 2014 was not your money year, I really suggest you start doing different things to make money, and I suggest you start focusing all of your laser beams on things that will only make you money, because whatever you did last year didn't work. And people that has never made money, and you are just so sick of being broke, and all the time you are in a place of, come on already, what's the deal? How come money has never been my thing? And I'm going to tell you, this is what you have to focus on, especially in the beginning. Especially in the beginning. If you already have some momentum going, there are different things you need to do. Like start upping your business, start doing videos more, get yourself a mentor. Definitely, you have to stretch yourself and shake it up somewhat. And go outside your comfort zone and change what you've been doing. Stretch it a little further. But back to those who are at that, I'm going to tell you, you are starting from a dead stop and you have no motion with this money thing. And you've got to make this 100% goal all the time. 24/7 thinking about it. Be getting energetic about it. Be grateful for any money that you have coming to you already that the universe has provided. And every single thing you are doing yourself, is this making me money? If not, I'm not doing it. Is this making me money? Then if not, I'm not doing it. Be very clear all the actions you are taking if you are desiring to make money. Simply said, don't spend all day watching training and think, I think I might do that. No, do it. Just because thinking about it isn't going to make you the money, okay? You have to put it in action. Same thing as if you're on a diet, right? Everything you put in your mouth, is this going to help me lose weight? Yes or no? And you go from there. It's about being extremely focused on this. And believe me, I speak from experience on this one because I was broke, and broke for a long time, living hand to mouth. Every decision I ever made was based on what it was going to cost me. I had no freedom in that department. Picking things off the dollar menu, which gas station I went to, just always making enough to get by. And it's funny, when you are in that state, and especially if you have the mindset that I don't want my life to be all about money. I'm an artist, and I don't want money to be the most important thing, blah, blah, blah. Well, it becomes the most important thing when you don't have it, because you spend so much time making decisions based on money. When you're flush with money and you are in the flow, you don't make decisions based on money. You got it, because you don't have to make decisions based on money because you got it and it's there. But when you're broke, every single solitary penny counts, and you are literally obsessed with it anyway. So whining about not wanting to focus on it because you're thinking it's dirty or bad, so why not change your focus and change it into the way that you're going to create the life you desire and you deserve. Sometimes people have this disconnect going on that you can't possibly make a lot of money and still be a good person, or you're going to have to do things that you hate to do to make it. Let's get clear about money. Focusing and doing everything you can do to make money is pretty darn awesome. Because money gives you freedom, gives you all the freedom you want. It allows you to give back in ways that you cannot give back if you don't have money. It allows you to express yourself in a way that you were put on this earth to express yourself. You know, folks, expressing yourself costs money in our culture. And what I mean by that is, say you want to be a guitar player in a band. You have to have a pretty good guitar, or you have to have the guitar amps. Or maybe you're a real estate agent and you really want to do well, and one of the things you have to do is drive clients around to a home. You usually want to put them in a pretty nice car, not something that's a rust bucket. So it costs us money. This is just the reality of it, gang, and this is not a bad thing to want to make this stuff. And I don't know why we have made it so bad, but it is so important. And the more you love it, and the more you get into the flow of it, and the more you are happy, joyous, grateful, and surrounding yourself with all this energy, the more money will flow to you. So allow yourself to open up to the concept of making money. Make a shift in your attitude and your focus. Start looking around for what you want. Tell yourself you are available for it. Other people have done it. You are smart enough to do the work. You're not going to be grouchy about it. You're going to allow yourself to be in a state of discovery and gratitude and awe, and bring it on. Lo and behold, as they say, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And as everyone knows, it doesn't mean that the teacher wasn't always there. It means you shifted your perspective and your attitude and were able to receive what has always been sitting there waiting for you to get it together. You know, with all of us on this panel, we all welcomed Empower Network with open arms. I mean, when we joined Empower Network, we were done with our old ways. and we accepted what we had to do to make it happen. And we were all scared because it was something new. As I always say, if the new thing doesn't scare the crap out of you, it's not the right new thing. It's got to be something that is really outside of your comfort zone, or else you're probably doing it already because it's comfortable. Stop playing small. Invest in yourself. Step into a level that you have never stepped into before if you want to make money. When I did this, I lifted myself up. I scared the living daylights out of myself. I did believe in myself. I was also terrified to invest in myself, but I had shifted my energy and I allowed myself to enter into this new realm. I entered, and then I had to do a crap load of work. I mean, training, getting set up, learning daily, learning the language, just disciplining myself. And was it my dream job at that part of it? No. But it was all about the making money. I mean, it wasn't that bad. I wasn't working in a coal mine, and I certainly wasn't going back to my old job that I absolutely hated. And what I found was the more I got into it, it started to get fun, and it started to get exciting. And then I realized that my creativity was starting to help others. And now, that's my dream job and my dream life. So to wrap it up, just get started. If you're not making money right now, start doing something that is specifically designed to help you make money. Because you'll end up doing what you love to do down the road if you decide that it's going to be your focus. I started with the money focus, and it worked into where I am now, where I bring value to others. I speak on Hangouts in a voice that I think is rather funny and entertaining. It has all come together in a way that is so freaking fun and so lucrative. But I did allow myself to start with the money. You have to start somewhere, and if that's why you are here, that's what you have to focus on. Period. The end. Just do it. Okay? So that's what I'm telling you, to kick to the curb, like get your money thoughts on the right track so that, you can kill it this year, all right? So that's Nettie, and yeah, wow, I went on. So I want to turn it over to Shirley, and let's see what she's got to say to all of you.
Well, thank you, Nettie. And I think what you said was so important. I'm just going to actually say it again. I took some notes, and I think I'm going to make it a screensaver, so thanks again. But I wrote down, when you're broke, you think, what is it going to cost? And then when you have money, you think about, what will investing this money do for me? So I think, what you can all take away from that is, if you're broke and you don't want to be broke, pretend you have money and start thinking about how rich people think. What will investing this money do for me? And what do I need to do with my money to reach my intention? And Nettie, I loved how you said, when you're in a diet and you constantly think about what you're putting in your mouth. Well, you've got to constantly be thinking about what you're putting your money to. So that's really important. And I would say one of the biggest, mindset blockages I had with money is when I was younger. I grew up Amish, and they believed that money was a sin, that it was prideful, and that you needed to give it away if you wanted to be a good person. And it took me a long time to change that. I did a lot of the actions Nettie said, and it's true that once you think about money the way, what can money do for you? For me, money could help me impact lives. Money could help me be purposeful. Money could help me feel better and help the people I loved. That's what you need to focus on. So, yeah, I guess thank you again, Nettie, and I'm just going to ease right into my part of what I have to say. I must say before I get started, when I first heard the title for tonight's hangout, Nettie actually came up with it, and the part about playing your part on stage or whatever, that just freaked me right out. It took me back to a time in my childhood when, we were going to school in this little one-room school, and every week we would have to come up with composition, they called it, but it's story writing or poems, and you had to make up your own. And you had to get up in front of the class and read your part out. And that was my personal hell. I used to dread it like nothing else. I would go up to the front shaking and tears almost coming out of my eyes because I hated being the center of attention. I hated having everyone's eyes on me. And, Nettie came up with this title about, being center stage or being, playing. And, it just kind of froze me for a second. And then I realized that it's not about having everyone's eyes on you and worrying about what people think. It's about living. Because if you're not playing your part on your stage, you're not truly living. So if you think of how, the metaphors just flew out of my head that I was going to talk about, but if you think of how, a book starts, you're plopped into your life. You don't get to choose where you end up, but you get to choose how you want it to end. You get to choose the end of your book or the end of your play. And if you are constantly living or writing your book, worried about what other people think, and if they're looking at you because you're center stage and you're not, you shouldn't be. You should be living your life and writing it the way you want to write it, living it the way you want to live it. And if I were you, I would take Nettie's advice tonight about making money and start writing down what you would like that money to do for you and start seriously considering what you're going to do to go after it. So kind of what I had wrote down some bullet points about setting intentions because I feel that the beginning of the year and really any time of the year, it's good to get clear on what you want. And often the people that are broke, and I know back when I used to be miserable, in debt, broke, and just hating my life, I never thought about what I wanted. I never thought about intentions and goals, right? So if you're stuck at the bottom, you need to start from scratch. Setting intentions is what you need to do first. So basically, it starts with an idea. So for me, having intentions started with an idea. Like, first it was small. First it was, maybe I can leave the Amish. And the next it was, maybe I can learn how to drive. Maybe I can learn how to use a computer. Maybe I can fly in airplanes without changing my mind and wanting to get out of them. And then it was, maybe I can make a little extra money. And then maybe I can make a lot of extra money. And then it was, maybe I can change someone's life. And then it just went on and on into bigger and bigger intentions. And you'll notice when you start setting them, they just get bigger and bigger and bigger. And why is that? It's because, like Nettie said, you're being stretched out of your comfort zone. There is never a zone that you're in that you can't get more uncomfortable. You need to remember that. When you're green, you're growing, and if you're ripe, you're rotten. And that means if you think that you've arrived, if you think you don't need any more goals, if you think you don't need to set any more intentions, it's wrong. You've got to keep pushing yourself, no matter what level you're at. So the secret to setting an intention is it has to start with a believable idea. And in the beginning, it's not believable. Let's be honest. It's really hard to be stuck in a set of circumstances that you don't see any way out of. So for it to be believable for you, what do you have to do? Well, you surround yourself with people who are going to do it with or without you, or who have done it already without you. You hear their stories of how they went from, homeless to successful, or drug addict to, whatever. We've all heard those stories. And the reason we keep hearing them over and over again is because they birth new stories. The reason we hear old stories over and over again is because they birth new stories. So think about that the next time that you're thinking about your story and you're maybe being unsure of telling it. You never know when it births someone else's story. So the next part of, just surrounding yourself with people who are going to do it with or without you is, even if you make a flop of a day, we've all set intentions where there are these big grand intentions, and all of a sudden we procrastinate, or life happens, or someone gets sick, and we don't carry it out. So what is the one thing that you can do that is not going to damage your character? And by damaging your character, I mean, if you procrastinate often enough, you damage your character, and that makes you doubt yourself. It makes you doubt yourself. So whatever happens to you, what is the one thing that you can do that will keep you on track? It's to do something. For God's sake, do something. Rome wasn't built in a day. It's built by stone by stone. Some days you can get an entire wall up, and some days you can't. You can barely get 2 stones. So if you have a flop of a day, things aren't going the way that you want it to go, just do something that gets you a little bit closer to your intention. Because the minute that you flake on your intention, just a little bit, that's when the doubt will start creeping in. The minute that you get off a hangout early, the minute that you decide, oh, I can just do this blog post another day, I'll just do this video another day, all of a sudden we go by and you still haven't done it, that's when doubt creeps in. Okay? So one of my favorite books of all time, called The Compound Effect, I'm going to hold up here. It's probably backwards, but it's a book by Darren Hardy, and it's one of my favorite books for a really deep reason for me. If you've read this book before, you know that it's about consistency. The Compound Effect talks about success not as a huge quantum leap, but as just a small decision from one moment to the next moment to the next moment. A decision, a baby step decision, another tiny decision, another decision to stay longer on a hangout, a decision to apply what you've learned in the hangout, right? So when you are setting your intentions, all you need to do, bottom line, is focus on being consistent with your income-producing activities. What happens? Consistency compounds. I could read this whole book out loud to you guys tonight just because it's made such a huge impact in my life. But I won't. I'm going to leave it for you as homework to get it, or whenever you can read it from someone or borrow it from someone. I've heard the phrase as well that if you want to get rich quick, get consistent, because the fastest way to get results is to be consistent over a long period of time. To be quitting and starting over and quitting and then starting again and quitting and starting again. And even if you take massive action every time you start again, you would actually be farther along if you just took consistent action the whole way through, right? You cannot get from one place to another overnight, and I know that it feels like when you hear people's stories, it seems like their lives just transform overnight, but that's not true, because humans can't live giving massive amounts of performance all the time. So we were gifted with a special gift from the universe. It's a universal promise that if you remain faithful with this, day in and day out, in 30 days, in 60 days, in 90 days, you will have compound results. And I like to call results with interest, they, over a long period of time, they equal huge results. If you've ever had a credit card or been in credit card debt and you're like, holy cow, this is, going awful and I'm not paying it off, right? It's because you have this huge interest rate. But that's how compounded consistency works in your business, but the opposite way. It works in the good way, right? I have never, ever seen anything that is so relatable to or compounded consistency than the internet marketing, or some people call it the network marketing industry. I see it all over the place. So guys, in closing, just be consistent, and you will beat out 98% of this industry. You will, just by that alone. So I'm going to close off with this book again. Boom. Get it. And do Nettie's homework. I don't think any more to say, because you need to do her homework. It's going to change your life the way it's changed mine, the way it's changed Nettie's. And I promise you, that is what's going to make 2015 your year of raking in money, and you're going to do it by compounded consistency and getting your mindset on the right track. So I'm back over to you, Nettie.
Thanks, Miss Shirley. You always provide us with words of wisdom, and I have not read that book, so I'm going to have to put that on my list, because as much as I think I've got a good grip on this, I constantly need to be prodded to and get that firm kick in the butt to keep me going. So that's why we're here, gang, to help all of you out there. But thank you, Shirley, for kicking me too. So I'm going to move right on now to Zen, if she'll unmute herself.
Yeah.
And come on board. We'd love to have you, dear.
Can you hear me?
Can hear you just clear and loud and perfectly.
Perfect. Well, I was going to start off, and I will anyway, with examining your beliefs around money, because this is huge, and now I want to give you a few quotes. One out of the Bible, which I do not read, so I'm going to definitely misquote it, but it is, greed of money, not money itself, is what's not cool. So when you're making money and you're sharing it, as Shirley and Nettie has said, helping other people, uplifting other people, that's cool. Greed of that money, making it and wanting to hold on to it and being miserly with it, that's not cool. And I don't read the Bible, like I said, but that statement out of the Bible has always gotten me, because people misquote it all the time. Money is the root of all evil. That's not what's stated in there. I did look it up. It's greed of money is the root of evil. So on that note, I'm just also going to give you two quotes of my own. And the first one, which everyone always laughs about, but it's just factual. Until the world's currency is love and not money, I need money. I want money. And yes, money makes the world go round in that way. But so does your heart, and so does your love. So throw your love and your heart into your money making, and everything will be fine. And don't get greedy. Be willing to share or help or do good things with your money. And then you don't have to worry about making lots of it. So you can set upon making lots of it and feel good about it. Now the other quote of mine, and I've been saying this for a long time, is I have never been able to me being broke, let me start again, me being broke has never allowed me to help anyone else, ever. The only way for me, because the currency in this world is money and not love, is to add my loving heart to my money giving. So me making money allows me to help others in many ways, whether it's giving it to a charity or whatever it is. But me not having any will never help anyone. And now I wanted to move quickly to the set it and forget it, because we discussed this once in physical manifestation a while ago on a hangout. But you've got to get your vision and your positive thoughts wrapped around where you want to be, and expand your dream. Make it 10 times bigger than you thought it was, than you think you want it. Because I even realize that sometimes I think a little bit small. And mine's not so small. But I think, what if I did add another zero onto the end of that a month? What would I do with that money? And when you start really stepping into it and embodying, like, what if I did walk into a place with a large check and I said, here, I want to give this to you so that you can expand, I don't know, your charity, your business, whatever it is. I visualize myself doing those kinds of things because when I step into that kind of money, those are the things that I'll be doing. And so I have to feel it and embody it now. That's where I have to be. Now, as far as setting it and forgetting it, I mean, yes, the amount included, that feeling of you having the money and the amount included. Set it and put it out there. Just put it out there. And I can see that you can see I have my faraway gaze on, and I mean put it out there. That's your vision. That's where you're going. And just make sure that you put it out there, and then you can kind of forget it. Just set it and forget it. Okay, now I wanted to talk to you because I've been reading about the 4-Hour Workweek, and I love that book. And I read it, I'm going to say 4 years ago, but I just downloaded it on my Kindle about 4 days ago, and he's got the newer version, the more updated version. And one of the things that I thought was hilarious was that he wrote that people ask him, what does he do? And he said, you know, if you have to come up with a big, long song and dance about what you do, just say, I'm a drug dealer. And I thought that that was so funny because when you're doing a little bit of this and that, or if you're focused on one thing, it really doesn't matter because it's about you and how you feel and what you need. And he may not need $1 million, or you might need 10 million to fulfill your goals. So that's totally individual. But when it comes down to making some money, I'll just share this because I am in Empower and I do blog. But I also have a few blogs within Empower. And when I started, I'm a hypnotherapist, so I put my hypnotherapy stuff on there. And I only blog maybe once or twice a week. And 2 days ago, I got a phone call from somebody, and I said, how did you find me? Which I always ask. And he said, I found your website and your blog. I didn't even follow that conversation much further. But there's a person I can help and make money. And then I also, for years, I have been marketing a product which I love. It's a back pain product, and I just never got much traffic, many eyeballs on it. And then I started blogging about it. And guess what? I get 2 to 5 sales a month off of that. Now that's just separate issue from Empower, but Empower allowed me to get to that place and do that kind of thing. And so I thought, well, maybe I'll say I'm a drug dealer because I do a little bit of this and that. But the truth is that Empower is the route that I use to do any of those things. And that's why expanding the vision and putting a dollar amount on it is very important to do, especially in 2015, because I kind of left it a little bit more airy-fairy based on my kind of, not so much spiritual beliefs, but my aversion to wanting to deal in hard cash. And I've examined that lately because I do have a little bit of an aversion to it. You know, my mother told me long ago that she said, I knew everything I needed to know about you by the time that you were 5. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, well, I would give all 3 of you money to buy ice cream every week in the summer. And you would spend yours on the best ice cream one time. And then you probably try to get your sister to buy you something else during the week. But you would rather have the high quality and forego. So knowing that about myself, not only do I want and need the money, but I also know that I like to go for the quality. And so the quality of life that money can buy you is kind of important, which leads me to a quick, I'm just going to wrap it up in a few minutes, but I wanted to touch on this because, you know, you can make coffee at home, and I often do, and I work at home. And once in a while, I go down to the Terranea Resort, which is absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. And they have a cafe there with Wi-Fi. And their lattes are $5, and their valet parking is $10. But they have free Wi-Fi. And I can work there. And when I step into that area, suddenly, I don't know, something that vibrates higher. Because the conversations that I have there with people are people who are like-minded people, interestingly enough. They go to places like that. Now, I'm not telling you you have to go to the finest hotel in town and spend money you don't have. I'm just saying that cost me $15. But when I walk out of there, I have a high-quality blog post in mind. I have a high-quality letter I want to send out to my list. I have high thoughts for where I'm going and how I'm going to get there when I walk out of it. And that's worth 15 bucks. And there goes my aversion to talking about money. I can spend 15 bucks, or I can spend 50 bucks, or I can spend whatever it is, because this leads to the next point that I wanted to make, which was really important, and Shirley touched on it. Make sure you're spending some of your money. Now, some of it needs to be spent on investing in yourself and your education, because if you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to get anywhere with whatever it is that your endeavor is. You can put your vision out there, you can put a dollar amount on it, but if you don't have the investment in your education to get you to that place, you can't arrive. You don't know enough to arrive. So invest in your own education. And then the other investment is, yes, sometimes just buy yourself some things. And don't step out of, you don't have to go into debt over this. Going down to a beautiful resort and paying $10 to park my car and having free Wi-Fi and a beautiful cafe and having an expensive latte isn't going to break me. But it will elevate my spirit to a certain degree. And when you do that, you can help elevate others, because the thing that comes out of that experience feels like a richness. And it's a richness of spirit and of cash. And then you get more generous about what you want to do. And the other thing I wanted to talk about right before I wrap up, and this is about strictly business and about investing in your education. Because I was talking to somebody about this the other day. If you went into a regular brick and mortar business, could you rent a place for $7 or $25? Probably not. My part-time office for my hypnotherapy is $200 a month, and that's a bargain by any means. But you can't buy a brick and mortar business for super cheap. And then what do you do when you have that brick and mortar business? You have to advertise so that people know you're there. They have to know your footprint. They have to know where you are, how to arrive, what do I get when I get there, what are my services, what are my products, what am I paying, who is Zen, who is Lillian, who is this person who's offering the product or service. So every person in a brick and mortar business has an advertising budget, and if you don't, well, I used to sell print advertising many moons ago, and guess what? It's the first thing cut from the budget. And the first thing I used to talk to people about is, well, you better add me back in, because if you don't add me back in, you won't be in business for very much longer. That's just the way it is, because if nobody knows that you're there, then how are they supposed to do business with you? They have to know you. They have to find out about you, and they have to find out about you repeatedly. And yes, you have to overcome objections repeatedly until you sell them on you. And then once you do, you have a loyal client, and then you get referrals from them. But in the meantime, never cut your advertising budget. So my point with the whole thing is about investing in Empower. Is an investment in your education. To me, I talk to people about it. I tell them it's my master's in online marketing program, which isn't even available out of college. So switching that to brick and mortar, that would be like setting up a sandwich shop and then not having any supplies and never putting out flyers. What do you think you're going to get? Not much. So you have to put in to pull things out, and the benefits will, do what you love, and the money comes, and that's pretty much what it comes down to. So the parts of your business within Empower, and I admit some of the techie stuff, I really just don't like it. So I go on Fiverr now and I hire somebody, and they take care of that. And then the parts that I love, which is writing, I either dictate into Dragon app and then rewrite when I get home, or I cut a video right in the car, and I just have fun with it. And so I'm just going to wrap it up with, remember this, as Nettie said, money is energy. Okay, so output some of your energy, and then energy will come back at you. That's how energy output and input works. So I'll wrap it up with that, and Nettie, back to you.
Brilliant, Zen. Brilliant. Thank you so much for your input. I always love your woohoo input. I bordered on woohoo tonight, and that was scaring the crap out of me. So I thought, yeah, I'll leave it alone. So, anyways, Miss E, can we please hear from you?
I'm having a hair meltdown. It was all fine until about 2 seconds ago. First of all, I just want to say that I am just so thrilled that we're back on the air. You know, we have this thing here, if you're not tilting, you're wilting, and I felt myself wilting these last couple of weeks. As much as I love holidays and I love, you know, just completely having this huge break, I've got to tell you, I love being back in business. I love being back doing what I'm passionate about. Can you guys just let me know that you can hear me and see me? I see a frozen screen. You got, okay, good. So I love being back in business. I love being back with my team. I love being back with my ladies. I love being back with a group. I love what I do with all my heart and soul. And I think if you really, you know, want to be the lead actor in your play, you have to love what you do with all your heart and soul. And I think one of the biggest problems a lot of people have in this industry is they don't have a big vision. If you do not have a big vision for your business, what's going to inspire you to get out of bed? Like for me, I get out of bed at 2:30 in the morning. It's 2:30 in the morning when I wake up. It's like 10 to 4 in the morning now. Would I get out of bed if I didn't have a big vision? Hell no. I'd be doing hangouts at 10 o'clock in the morning, not 2:30 in the morning. If I didn't have a big vision, I wouldn't be here. So why am I here? Because I love what I do with all my heart and soul. So one of the first things you can do to make 2015 your best year ever is to get a big vision. Make it massive. Mine's massive. If anyone knows me, you know what my vision is. Actually, I'm going to test you guys. In the comments below this hangout, if you know me well, you tell me what my vision is. You tell me what my vision is. I say it all the time. Anyone who knows me knows what it is. So write it in the comments below and I'll check when we finish the hangout. So that's the first thing. You've got to have a big vision and you've got to speak it loud. You've got to speak it out to the world. Everyone has to know what your vision is because everyone has to know what they're getting on board with you about. Why would someone join you? Why would someone join you in your business? What's your vision? They'll join you when they know your vision, okay? The second thing is you need to have massive focus, laser focus. Your message cannot ever change. My message has not changed in 3 years. I've been saying the same thing for 3 years. If you're on my list, if you're following me on Facebook, if you're following me on my videos, you know what's going to come out of my mouth every single day. The same thing. I've never wavered. When you start getting wishy-washy and you start looking to the left and you start looking to the right and you start, you know, messing around outside in the gray areas, that is not how you build a solid business, and that is not how you build your team, okay? You need to have one solid focus, laser vision, 100% this way. Get the blinders on, stay focused. The third thing is you need to take massive action. That's the key. You need to take massive action every single day. And I love that Shirley, you know, she was talking about this. You know, you've got to show up every day. You've got to be consistent every single day. And I promise you, if there's one thing I've learned about this industry, those who remain the most consistent for the longest period of time always win. Always. And I see it all the time. There might be someone who's been kind of flailing around for a couple of years and someday they just break through. They didn't just break through. It was the result of consistent daily action, day in, day out. And I say this all the time. People are watching you. They are watching everything you do. Everything you do. When you speak a big vision and when you stay laser focused and you take massive action, trust me, everything you want in life and in your business will happen. It just will. It's inevitable. It is absolutely inevitable. What I see, however, I'm so glad that Nettie and Zen touched on this as well. One of the biggest problems I see, however, is so many people, they've got one foot on the accelerator, but the other foot on the brake. So it's kind of like, yeah, I really want all this stuff, but I'm not prepared to invest in my education. I'm not prepared to get to events. I'm not prepared to actually do everything I'm supposed to do to have the life I say I want, okay? You've got one foot on the accelerator, but the other one is firmly on the brakes. So where are you going? Nowhere. You are stuck here. Okay, you're stuck. You can't move forward with one foot on the brake, okay? I'm so glad we had this discussion about money tonight because it is so very important. Money is just an idea. Money is energy. If you are holding back doing something because of money, let it go. Let it go, okay? Because the minute you do that transference of energy to, I don't know, get the tools that you need, get the products that you need, get the information you need, get to your next company event, okay? Once you have that transference of money, that transference of energy, the universe is like, oh yeah, baby, she's ready. Let's bring it. Let's make 2015 his year. Let's make 2015 her year. So, my darlings, as we're about to wrap up, you've got one foot on the accelerator. Awesome. Take the other foot off the brake and just go. Do what you need to do in 2015. Stop making excuses. Look at what you did in 2014. If what you did in 2014 didn't work, you have to do something different. And now's your year. Now's your time. There is no other time but now. Now is your time. And just on this little note about events before I wrap it really, really quickly, for a lot of you, looking at what we're doing, we have an event coming up at the end of January. From the 23rd, 24th, 25th of January, we're all going to be in one place, Lake Las Vegas. And let me tell you something. If you can get there, get there. Don't make excuses. Don't say, oh, it's too far, it's too much money. You know my story. I went from New Zealand 3 times to America to get to my first 3 events. Why? Because I knew I needed to get there. I knew I needed to surround myself with like-minded people. I knew I needed to ask some people the questions, the magic secret of how to make this business work. I knew I had to get there. I moved heaven and earth to get there. 3 times from New Zealand, and now I fly all the way from Europe. Why? Because I know that my breakthrough is at every event. So my darlings, one foot on the accelerator, take the other one off the brake. Do what you need to do in 2015. There's no magic here. There's no secrets. You know what you need to do, okay? You need to follow the 8 core commitments. And one of them is what? It's get into the events, okay? So on that note, darlings, I'm going to wrap it up. It is 3 minutes before the top of the hour, and we like to keep these to 60 minutes. Thank you so much for being with us. So excited that 2015 has started. I'm just so happy to be back on the air. Oh, yeah, so happy. Darlings, accelerator, foot off the brake. Let's go. Love you. See you next week.
Oh, yeah, it's on. Let's go. Let's make 2015 our time. And thank you for bringing the event up. Did you all catch the dates out there? 23rd, 24th, 25th, Las Vegas. What stays in Las Vegas is not going to stay, or what you hear in Las Vegas, because we're going to bring it to the world. When we leave there, everything that happens in Las Vegas that we hear at this event, it is going to explode. And one of the things I just want to mention is we've just come out with a brand new blogging platform. It's called Kalatu. And next week we're going to talk a little bit more about that, because even for people that aren't really thinking about getting into Empower Network, but you're in another business of sort, if you haven't got a blog, you're missing the beat. And this blog, Kalatu, is just going to open the world up for you and whatever business you're in. Next week, we're going to help explain that to you a little bit more deeply. So be sure to be back here, and we'll talk about it. So, but back to tonight, what we talked about, I think we covered some super, super important things. It's focus, it's driven, it's consistency. Don't worry about money. Money is your friend, okay? Don't worry about that issue. And get to an event if you can get there. Talk to us behind the scenes privately if you want to. Get back to the person that invited you to this hangout tonight. There's a button below, Get Started. Click on that. I mean, it's a great time to get in right now with the breaking grounds of Kalatu and everything else. Oh, man. So let's make 2015 your year. I think Shirley touched on it. We all touched on it. Zen did. Erica did. Just get started. Because, I said this in a video yesterday. Get started. Life is not, you don't get a do-over. It's not a dress rehearsal. Hell is too hot and eternity's too long. So you got to do it right now. Okay? You got to do something right now. And we love you all. We'll see you back here again next week. And we hope we've brought some value to you. I know we have. Don't forget, click the button, get started, get back to the person that invited you, or get back to one of us. We're always available. Hit us up on Facebook. Mwah! Take care, and welcome to the first week of 2015. It's going to be a great year. Wow.